All right, we're going to just jump right in here with MoneyRobot. And one of the things I want to emphasize about MoneyRobot is while, many people have the impression like it's a lesser product as compared to Ranker X or GSA Search Engine Ranker, SEO Autopilot. However, it is extremely powerful at the level that it operates and what it actually does. Because when you think about some of those other products that I just mentioned, what they give you is the ability to do or post multiple article types. Okay? Rather, where in the basic MoneyRobot campaign, we're basically creating a single body article. However, MoneyRobot is much more powerful in the sense that you can use multiple articles. And of course, when you do this, it's much more powerful in that regard. But there's some things to keep in mind when using MoneyRobot in this approach. All of your articles need to have the same keyword topics, the things you're going to be focusing on with your keyword anchor text. So that's going to be very important in this process. So we're going to go through just a basic scenario where I'm going to use 4 articles to set up this campaign. However, I want you to understand that you can go beyond this. There's more that you can do, but we're going to take advantage of some of the basic features that are already present in MoneyRobot. So that being said, let's get started and get into the gist. Now this is going to be a semi-real world scenario. And one thing I always emphasize is that the quality of your post needs to be really good. So in this case, what I've only got 4 articles, but I like to use 10 or 12 at a time, okay? And we can see what these articles are about. And these are basically about kids' toys and toddler toys, okay? And we've got 4 of them here. And something to keep in mind, that the first line of the file that you are using for multi-file posting with MoneyRobot, this is going to be your title. This is what it's going to treat as the title, the very first line, okay? Now in this example, I've only got 4 that I'm going to be using, okay? But I recommend that you do something like when I'm developing my content for these posts, I'm using ChatGPT, and in this case, I used Human Writer, and I have created 10 articles that I will actually be using for the real world post, but the emphasis is all about children's toys, kids' toys, newborn toys, okay? And the focus is going to be very narrow, but I'll get a good diversity of different post types by taking this approach. So, for my new campaign, it's going to be my kids' toys customer, and I give it the date. I like to date them, so today is the 19th, and then 24. So I always, I make my title so it's something that I know what it is, that I can reference it. Now, while I'm covering this approach of using multiple articles with MoneyRobot, I also want to talk about some logistics, because if you look at some of my previous videos, oftentimes I may have 20, 30, even 60 keyword phrases that I'm going to be using to both generate my titles and as my anchor text. However, with this is a little bit different approach, and I'm going to be using a much more narrow range of phrases. I'm only going to use 3 phrases, and for the first campaign, it's only going to go to 1 URL. So I just want to point that out at this point. We're going to come back to that. But we're not going to be using the usual features where we're going to create unique articles using MR's article builder, which we generally only do just for the titles, and we replace the actual article content. But in this case, we're loading. And the way this works is all I have to do is navigate to the folder where I have the files. So this is multi-posts project. Come on. And there's my posts. So I've got it in a folder called post. And you see it says you have 4 text articles in this folder, which I've already shown you, and that's what we got. So, now, that being said, there is no preview mode for this, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to select the spin articles from the folder because we don't have our content pre-prepared with spin tags. However, that is another approach where you can pre-create all of your spin tags in those articles on your own. But generally, and especially because we're using quite a few articles, and in a real world scenario, I suggest you use 10 or 12 at a time, and that all those articles have the same tight keyword focus like I'm taking in this approach. Now that we've already loaded our articles, there's still a few other steps we need to take. We still need to go into advanced mode by right-clicking on the background here and selecting advanced. Because what we're going to want to do is take those keywords, and we want them in here. Because that's going to be our anchor text, and I always turn this up to 100%. I don't want any generic keyword phrases. That is what I want in there. Now, I also have a collection of images that I already can take and load in so that it's going to insert the images before the article. And I also have YouTube videos because this client has lots of YouTube videos about its products. And so, again, I'm able to add all that. And then that's after the article I've inserted. And then from here, I can pick one of my nice campaigns that I'm going to use to run this particular campaign. And now that I've got all this set, that's basically it. Once I've got my campaign set, I hit start. Now, spread submission over so many days, I put it to 0. I want it to go as fast as it can. And when it's running, I turn my thread rate up to the full speed, okay? Because I'm gonna allow all these to index on their own. I have the index setting turned on, but MoneyRobot doesn't do a very heavy indexing, which is good because I like things to sort of appear a bit more naturally as they start to track in the external tracking through Ahrefs. But this campaign is basically ready to go. So let's just talk about logistics briefly, okay? Now, what I want to do here is just give you a few extra tips on how I rework these campaigns. Now, in this particular case, this client has lots of pages about toys. It also has many blog articles about toys that also contain these keywords, which link with anchor text to product pages within their site. So now I can take this same campaign, and you see I've added multiple URLs here, and I like to do a dozen at a time. And he's got more than a dozen. He's probably got 30 or more, at least, toy products that fit in this general category with these 3 keyword phrases. So now I can take this project when it completes, clone it, change my date up on top, make sure I go in and set my generic keywords back up to 100 because it'll reset to 90%, and then I'll pick another campaign that I may want to use and load that up and go and run. And so now I've turned this campaign into a third campaign. Now I may also run it across, clone this 2 more times and run across a whole range of toy pages. However, that's not really always necessary that I got to get every page, but rather focus on some of the better ones that these keywords specifically target. Because on the next campaign, I might switch up the pages because he has plenty to switch up, but I'll increase the amount of keyword phrases. And in this case, I might take it up to 20, 30, even 60 keyword phrases that all fit the general topic of his type of toys. Because it's all kids for toys, toys for toddlers, newborns, and a lot of things that revolve around that. Then it becomes educational toys and learning and puzzle toys, etc., etc., etc. And learning to focus your campaigns, even tightly with your keywords to certain pages, that's what the keyword emphasis is. That's where you're really going to get a winning results with your backlinking campaign. So it's important to understand that when you make a really good campaign like this one, where you're going to really have 12 articles that are being constantly respun rather than a single article that you might normally do, in most of the standard scenarios with MoneyRobot. Because when you start stepping up your game and using multiple articles, it's a game changer. It's a game changer. It's going to take you to the next level, and you're going to find that you can do a lot more and change and diversify the type of diagrams that you're doing in an effort to get really good keyword ranking results from these backlinks. Now, it's very important to remember that while you're now getting a level of power with multiple articles you can only get when you're using a product like Ranker X or GSA Search Engine Ranker, now you see you can do it all with MoneyRobot. However, we don't have that preview mode. So once your project gets running, what you want to do is, after you see things starting to complete over here, you want to click on the URLs tab and take one of the URLs out of here, copy and paste it, put it in your browser, and look at the output. Make sure everything is okay, your images, your videos, you didn't make any mistakes, because you want to catch, if there's an issue, you're going to see it right away. So you want to check a few URLs, make sure all of your stuff is good, because sometimes you make some mistakes, you don't have the right thing, the right URL, the image URL, something's changed, and you're loading basically broken stuff. That's not going to help you. So you just want to give that extra check that you don't normally have with the single preview process that you will get when you're just doing like a single article approach. I highly recommend you think about using MoneyRobot this way, because this is just another way that makes MoneyRobot a game changer, allows you to easily embed your images and videos into those posts. And Google likes YouTube because it owns YouTube, and those videos, one thing that MoneyRobot is not really good for ranking YouTube videos within YouTube, but one thing it's excellent for is ranking your YouTube videos into search results with Google. And when it sees a lot of backlinks with those videos embedded into them, it's much more likely that they're going to rank very well in the Google search results. Okay? And so that basically covers the standard approach in this video for doing multiple articles. And this is a great approach. You want to have like 10 or 12 at a time, something comparable. Look, you can do more, even 20, because quantity is power. And that is the metric changer when you step away from generally like a MoneyRobot to doing something like Ranker X or GSA. Like Ranker X, you can have a lot more articles that you're going to load and your various spinning approaches, same thing, images, videos, etc., etc. However, you don't get as many posts either that with a lot of these. And same thing like GSA. Like when I'm running GSA, I'm not doing it with list. So I'm running slow. I'm looking for, high value target sites that I can get those posts on. So it's always, each product is different in the scheme and scope of what it's actually doing, because not all backlinks are created equal. So that being said, that sums it up for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you give it a like, thumbs up. And that being said, we have some closing things we'll go to here at the end of the video.